live. We're back. We're back. Guys, we're back. Let me know if you can see me and hear me okay. Do me a massive favor as well. Please give this live stream a thumbs up. Hit that like button. It really does help me out. It's greatly appreciated at this time. I'm feeling a little bit stressed. I'll just give it a good couple of minutes. Let any of you come along and join in. And then we'll get into the subject at hand. Guys, do me a massive favor. Hit that like button. I can see only 4 of you have hit that like button so far. It massively helped me out at the moment. Just hit the like button. We need to get as many people in here as possible, because I know I'm going to get a bunch of people asking the inevitable question: what was wrong with the car? Why did you break down and all this? So if we try and get as many people in here as possible, we'll try and clear it up on one take. Georgie Nakov, haven't been able to follow you for a while. What's the situation about your diesel BMW? I know people are going to want to know, so I may as well tell you. It's I haven't been working on it for a couple of weeks now, since before I went to Germany pretty much. Other projects took priority. Obviously, I had to get the 7 Series done. And then since I've been back, I've been working on an X5. So, yeah, I just didn't want to put any more time and effort into a car which I didn't know was going to get fixed. So, yeah, other projects took priority. But hopefully I'm going to be able to get back onto the E46 next week. So, yeah, there's that. Guys, if you have just joined, give the live stream a big thumbs up. Hit that like button. I see 9 of you have hit that like button now, and we have 20 of you in here. I don't know how many of you were in my previous live stream. I guess if you haven't came from my previous live stream, then I guess I have some explaining to do, really. Guys, let me know if you saw my previous live stream, because otherwise, I'm going to have to start the whole discussion again. Fingers crossed for that diesel beauty. Yeah, I'm sure we'll get it fixed. Okay, watched it briefly, says Course Randy. Okay, then. So basically, my previous live stream was about an hour ago. I broke down. I was actually on a dual carriageway, broke down and had to get recovered back home. And the thing is, it wasn't even in my own car. It was in a friend's car. It was a friend's BMW X5 30D. And yeah, just having a bit of a nightmare at the moment. So basically, I've spent the last 2 to 3 weeks working on that car. I've done a number of jobs. I've done brand new intake manifold, glow plug module, EGR and EGR cooler delete. What else? DPF and cat delete, crankcase breather, new headlight bulbs, washer jets, cleaning out the washer jets, and I think that's about it. Basically, it all went smoothly until I moved on to the DPF and the cat. So as you guys know, on the 30D, the DPF and the cat is on the downpipe just after the turbo. And on the M57 engine in general, it's difficult to get off. But on an M57 engined BMW X5, it is a nightmare. It's so difficult to remove. It's difficult to do if you have access to a ramp. If you have, a two-post lift, it's still going to be difficult. Me being me, I wanted to try and tackle it without a ramp or without a lift. So I've done it on my own on the driveway. Oh, that's another thing as well. Even if you had two people, you had someone giving you a hand, it would be a nightmare. Doing it on your own, never ever do it. Never ever put yourself through that pain. Just pay someone else to do it, honestly. I'd done it myself. Absolute nightmare to get off. You have to remove the engine mount. You have to remove the engine mount bracket. And even then, you have to lower the subframe. And even then, it's just so tight and difficult. And you're trying to twist things and go into angles that you don't even want to do. Yes, on the drive in the rain. Yes. So you're doing all this, getting frustrated because you can't reach and you can't get things out, and you've got water running all down your back, and you're getting rust dropping in your eyes, and it's an absolute nightmare. It's given me. I'm just having flashbacks of doing the job now. Anyway, got the downpipe off. Managed to gut it successfully, that was difficult. The cat is pretty tough. The DPF, that's just like dust, but the catalytic converter, that's like quite a tough metal. So managed to gut the whole thing anyway. And then came the next mission, which was getting the DPF back on. Like I said, it'd be difficult if you had two people, but doing it on your own is just a nightmare. You have to get the DPF up into position, hold that with one hand, and then you have to also try and get the engine mount bracket up in, and then put that into position as well, push them both forward while holding them in place, and then get the engine mount with your third leg, put that in place, and then slide everything back, and then push the DPF up, and absolute nightmare. I actually went out and bought a rain suit. Yes, was it yesterday or the day before? I don't know. We had heavy rain anyway, and I was getting absolute soaked. And I thought, I'm just going to go and buy a rain suit. And then pretty much after I bought it, I bent down to get underneath the car, and then the trousers ripped. So I had a massive, big rip in the trousers pretty much straight away. And so water was just pouring in, soaking my legs. It was an absolute nightmare. But yeah, anyway, long story short, we got the DPF back into place after a lot of pain and frustration. And then it was just the not easy task, but relatively easy compared to what we've done, of just putting everything back essentially. So spent pretty much a full day putting everything back, getting the exhaust back on, all the undertrays back and everything, and then all of the engine covers and everything. I've cleaned everything as well at this point, thoroughly. And then today I thought, what, I'm going to give the car a good clean before I take it back to my friend. This is, I don't even know if I've mentioned, but this X5, it's not mine. It's a friend's car. I'm just doing all of the work for him. And I thought, what, I want to give the car a good wash before it goes back. I'll do that tomorrow morning. But before I do that, I want to take the car for a bit of a test drive just to make sure everything's okay. And if there's any niggling problems, then I can sort them out. Hopefully, if there's, I don't know what I expected to happen, but I just thought I'd take it for a test drive anyway, just to make sure everything's okay before I take it back tomorrow. And yeah, took it on the test drive. Was brilliant. I noticed the throttle response was so much better. I noticed just quickly, guys, if you haven't already done so, because there's 40 odd of you in here, hit the like button. You know, it's absolutely free to do. It doesn't cost you a penny. Just hit the like button just to show some support. So yeah, anyway, took the X5 for a test drive. Throttle response was much better. Turbo was spooling nicely. And yeah, the engine could breathe better. It felt like it had, quite a bit more power low down. So, everything was fine. Steering was fine and all that. Because I was thinking, I've actually unbolted the subframe. I wonder if we're going to notice any differences with alignment or anything like that. We didn't. All is good. I guess it couldn't really happen anyway because there is like locating dowels for the subframe to go on, so it can't really be out of a line. But yeah, then I thought I'd take it on a dual carriageway after getting up to temp, and then I'll boot it just to make sure everything is fine. So I revved it to like 3,000. Yeah, everything felt fine. Then I like revved it to like 4,000, and then I noticed it was a bit strange. It was sort of like the revs were climbing, but the torque didn't really seem there. And like I got up to speed relatively quick, but then it seemed like, I don't know, the torque didn't have the same boost, which I thought was strange. But then I thought, okay, maybe it's just because it hasn't been mapped yet. Maybe it's working on the old sort of, back pressure, so to speak, from the DPF and the cap being in place. And so I don't really think too much of it. But then I came off, went around an island, came back on the dual carriageway, came on the dual carriageway, booted it again, and then pretty much instantly, like loss of power, loads and loads and loads of smoke out of the exhaust. And that's when I was like, something's not right here. Luckily, there was a lay-by probably 10 seconds after I first noticed the smoke. So I managed to pull into the lay-by. At this point, there is smoke coming from the engine bay. Didn't know what the issue was, but anyway, turned the engine off, popped the bonnet, had a look inside of the engine bay. Oil everywhere. Well, I say everywhere. Oil was all around the turbo, pretty much all underneath it. And I was like, oh no. What has just happened? What has just happened? And I was also thinking, to be honest, like it sounds pretty selfish, but I was thinking, is that my fault? Have I done something, to break the turbo or something? No. So I was thinking, I was going over things in my head and just thinking, what have I done wrong? What could have caused this to happen? So obviously, because we had the smoke, that means we have oil in the exhaust, but then we also had oil outside of the exhaust as well, outside of the turbo. So it really didn't make sense. One good thing, though, that, I was sort of thinking in the moment, at least the engine didn't go. Because I think we lost about a litre of oil in those 10 seconds that, that they took to sort of pull over. So if we would have kept driving with that happening, then we could have used up all our oil and the engine could have seized. So good job I did pull over exactly when I done. It's funny, actually. I had a similar story back when I had my first car. I'll keep this story nice and brief. It was only a Vauxhall Corsa. Noticed the oil pressure light come on the dash, pulled over. This was on the M1. I was in the lane 3, so I had to come right across. Managed to do it in like 10 seconds in the hard shoulder, engine off. And there was actually a small engine fire. Basically, the oil pressure switcher blew off, blew oil all over the hot exhaust manifold. and had to actually put that fire out with some energy drinks that I had in the boot. That was not a pleasant experience. But anyway, talking about tonight, yeah. So I noticed the oil everywhere. I noticed. Well, I knew that the engine was. Well, I hoped that the engine was fine because I physically switched it off myself. It was running, and then I turned it off. I didn't, it didn't cut out. It didn't stall or anything like that. So yeah, hopefully, fingers crossed, the engine is okay. But the turbo, on the other hand, I don't know if it is. Now, guys, leave some suggestions in the live chat. Do you think anything that I could have done could have caused this issue? Please try and put my mind at rest. So, again, I'll go over exactly what I've done. So, we have a brand new intake manifold. It's a Peerberg intake manifold. We have, so I didn't do a swirl flap delete because we have a brand new intake manifold. We've done a full EGR and EGR cooler delete. We fitted 6 new glow plugs, new glow plug module. We fitted a new crankcase breather. What else did we do? Oh, David, what a legend. David has just sent €5. David, thank you, mate. You're a legend. Greatly appreciated. What else did we do? So yeah, we gutted the downpipe, which obviously has the CAT and the DPF in place, and yeah, that's pretty much what we're doing. I think, like I said, we've done a few other little jobs, but nothing sort of engine related. Oh, we did service the front diff as well because I forgot to do that on a previous time. But yeah, that's about it for engine related stuff. And so yeah, I didn't really touch oil supplies. I didn't touch the turbo. I mean, I unbolted the downpipe off of the turbo, of course, but I didn't physically touch the turbo. Like I didn't take anything off the turbo. I didn't mess with any of the oil lines or anything. So guys, please let me know. Do you think anything that I could have done could have caused this massive explosion of the turbo? Because yeah, I really don't know. Have I messed up, or is it just a massive coincidence? Which I really don't. I'm not a massive fan of coincidences. Why has it just gone now? Was it sort of, was the turbo already on its last legs, and the fact that we've added more boost essentially, because obviously we've taken away the EGR, we've taken away any restrictions in the exhaust, and now we have a free flowing turbo. Could that be why? Could it have just exposed a potential issue in the future? Now I will get to the comments, but I just want to say, yeah, massive thanks again to David Merrifield for that super chat. Greatly appreciated. I'll read your comments first. Actually, yes, the joys of motoring. Yes, exactly that, David. Touch wood. I haven't actually broken down as such in one of my own BMWs. Like I said, touch wood. We did have that incident on the Autobahn in Germany, but that wasn't a breakdown. That's something that just flew off the car. So yeah, but it's kind of worse, the fact that it's not even my car, it's a friend's car, and he wants it back. I've had it for way too long now, and I've just had the whole stress of doing the job in the first place. Yeah, it hasn't been fun. This is why I tend not to do jobs for other people, because there's always the risk that something goes wrong, even if it's not your own fault. But you kind of seem like you need to then put it right. But yeah, I don't know what we're going to do in this instance. But yeah, I'm going to get back to the comments. Like I said, guys, if you haven't already done so, do hit the thumbs up button. It's greatly appreciated. It shows your appreciation. It's absolutely free to do. It doesn't cost a penny. Stephen says he didn't see it. You can see it. It should be on the channel now. It should be live on the channel. It's just called I Broke Down, I think. Yeah, I've broken down. Not good. So you'll actually see me like crying my eyes out pretty much. Dom says nightmare. Yes, it is a nightmare. Greetings from Bilbao, Spain. I love your channel. Thank you, Sant. Much appreciated. What a nightmare, especially after all the work that has been done. Yes, exactly that course, Randy. And I'm sort of like, after doing all that work, I'm not sure that I want to then do it all again, pretty much. Like, obviously, we haven't got to do all of that again, but we will have to undo some of the work that we have done. So, yeah, I don't know. I don't know what we're going to do. I don't know where we're going to go from here. Driven Junkie says, hello, George. Hello, Driven Junkie. Anyway, why delete the catalyst? So I just gutted the whole thing. I didn't want to cut it open and weld it up. I just, done the old drillaroo technique. Engine mount, been there, done that 3 days, absolute nightmare. Yes, Kuba, you know exactly what I'm talking about. Never, ever again. You gave me flashbacks when I tackled the dynamic drive pipes on my 760 Ally. Oh, please don't say that. I'm not a lot. I don't want to do that job. In no way I see how a catalyst can be a problem for the engine as the DPF is. Yeah, to be honest, the catalytic converter is not really an issue, to be honest. It doesn't block up. I mean, it can get blocked up if you're burning oil. But yeah, they're definitely not as big of an issue as the DPF. But like I said, I had to drill through the cat to get the DPF off. The other way you could do it is cutting open the downpipe and then re-welding it up. But yeah, I didn't want to go down that route. Where are we? Oh yeah, I just read that. Are you sure it wasn't a gimp suit? Yeah, it could have been. That's right. Let's go, champ, says T5 Jerry. Done it, says Chris. I appreciate it. Last person to hit the like button is a donkey. Yes, guys, hit that like button. I can see there's 48 of you in here and only 38 have hit that like button. What are you waiting for? Don't be shy. Torque converter, turbo gone bye-bye. Turbo be like, I'm free. Yeah, I think so as well. You have been putting strain on the turbo oil cooling. The oil pipe supplying the turbo with oil. Wait, what? You've been putting strain on the turbo oil pipe supplying the turbo with oil. I don't know what you mean by that. At least it wasn't a runaway diesel engine 2. It happened to my friend's E46 330D. Yeah, that can be an issue, but not on the later M57s because they have the anti-shudder valve. That's basically, I guess it could run away to a degree, but as soon as you switch the engine off, it'll close that anti-shudder valve and yeah, it should stall the engine. V-clamp on the turbo too tight from the downpipe. I don't think so. Why would that cause the turbo to go as well? Why would that cause the turbo to explode? Is it possible to get a car through the MOT without DPF? Yes, it's possible. Do you have to get a remap after an EGR delete? Yes, you do. Can't see how any of the work would affect the turbo. I have a feeling the turbo has just failed, possibly due to age. Yeah, that's kind of my thoughts as well, because it's a 3-liter diesel, but it's in a very heavy car and it has already been remapped. So I don't know how the previous owner has driven it. I don't really know how it's been maintained. So, it's quite a possibility that it was on its last legs. Did you protect the turbo when you took the downpipe off? How do you mean protect it? No, I didn't protect it. How do you mean though? What's the age and mileage of the car? So it's a 2008 and the mileage is like 114,000. Yeah, quite a few people have asked the mileage. Yeah, 114,000. Slap a remanufactured turbo on it, should be fine. You can get a refurbished turbo for maybe around 200. Yeah, if it is the turbo, that's sort of the route that we're thinking of going down. Hey George, bit off topic, but I've just got myself a 120i E87 petrol, and it's blown smoke after pulling away from idle. I think it's possibly a valve seal. Yeah, it could be the valve stem seals. Maybe you only need to reset the oil pipe itself. Yeah, but if it's the oil pipe, like here's my thoughts. If it is an oil pipe external to the turbo, why would that be blowing oil through the turbo and through the exhaust? Surely that would just mean an external oil leak. Why would it leak internally as well? Hi George, hope you're good. Liking the endings better on the videos. I appreciate that, Timo. Was there a fault with the DPF? No, there wasn't a fault with it. It's just preventative maintenance, essentially. All turbos have an oil pipe that supplies the turbo bearing with oil. Maybe the pipe got dislocated during your operation with the DPF. I mean, I guess that is a possibility, but again, why would you then get oil going through the exhaust? How do you know the turbo has gone? Smoke from exhaust could have been faulty oil feed to the turbo, popping off, filling the turbo. If turbo goes, engine does not run at all. Besides that awful fine. Forgot to add, I'm an ex-BMW specialist technician if you need any advice. Yeah, I mean, I'm all ears at this point. I misunderstood. I thought you might have taken the boost pipe off and exposed the turbine within the turbo that needs protecting. Check the turbine for play up, down, side, etc. A message up with that besides an awful fine. Besides an awful. I don't know. I don't understand that, Georgie. Let's actually pull up a diagram of the. Let's pull up a diagram of the engine and the turbo. I didn't want to do that. What am I doing? Turbo oil drain blocked / kinked. Again, that it could be a possibility, but I don't think so, because the DPF, like, it's gone in correctly. It's like it can't go off on an angle or whatever. Have you plugged Impa or Kali into the car for any codes? I did plug. I plugged in Ista, and it didn't. Before I took it on the test drive, I haven't plugged it in after. So if the oil pipe got dislocated, there would be an oil spill outside the exhaust system. But secondly, the turbo bearing would not be getting oil there by destroying the bearing, giving oil in exhaust. Could that be a possibility, guys, do we think? I'm just going to try and pull up a... Let's have a look at the turbo oil feed. Yeah, so the... Hold on. So there's obviously two pipes that come off the turbo, right? So there is I guess essentially a feed pipe and a return pipe. And I'm just going to copy this part number just so I can have a look. Yeah, so the feed pipe is like it's got a tiny bit of rubber on it, but it's mostly a hard metal pipe with a banjo fitting. So I can't see that being kinked in any way. And then the other part, let's have a look. And that's not even near the DPF, to be honest. Yeah, the other bit's like a solid metal piece. I can't see that being the issue. I'm going to try and see if we can see a better picture. Just bear with me a minute, guys. Yeah, so I didn't even remove or go near any oil feed, so I don't know how that could be an issue. I don't know how one could be kinked. The irony in Romania is you can escape unobserved with straight pipe and a legal engine swap, but you get fined for LED bulb on number plate lights. That's strange. Plus the car documents suspended. Glad to see you home safe. I appreciate that, Stephen. Yeah, we got there in the end. Yes and yes. I guess I asked a question, but I forgot what I said now. If the turbo oil pipe was dislodged due to work carried out on the car, I don't think it would have made it very far on a test run. I'm sticking with old age fail possibility. The thrust bearing came loose. Yeah, like I said, I think that's the more likely option. Like I said, I never went near any of the turbo oil feeds, um, and like they're mostly metal lines anyway. But there's very little rubber on them, so yeah, I don't think it's you know a I can't see how it can just be a leaking line. Um, I've missed what the issue is. What's happened? We haven't got onto the bottom of the issue yet, Timo. Owner ragging the M57 with a map and restrictive DPF in place, not to mention 114k miles and the boost the mapper had to compensate for due to DPF. DPF came off, turbo spins faster than ever, boom. Yeah, I think that's what the issue is as well. Like I said, we're essentially giving the turbo's got a free rein. It can have all the boost, it can have all the flow it needs now, and if it's a bad turbo, then it's going to be exposed, especially when I put my foot down. And yeah, who was it who actually said it? If yes, Chris says, yeah, if it was a turbo oil pipe that was dislodged, it would have, like, I would have noticed it, pretty soon into the test drive. Whereas, obviously I had the car, starting on the drive. I had it running on the drive for a good, I don't know, 15-20 minutes while I was, moving it around and just revving it, making sure everything was fine. And I went under the car like so many times that there was no oil leaking at all. So yeah, I can't see it being something like a kinked pipe. And yeah, I was probably about best part of half an hour into the test drive before I noticed the problem. And it was only when I booted it, so it's when it's on full boost, that something went bang. Unlikely that happened though, to be honest. It's hard to do. What's that? You agree with Kuba? Yes, I think that's the more likely. What? Sorry, Crods and Henk. What are you both saying yes to? I guess I did ask a question, but I can't remember what it was about now. Where have we got to again? But of course, a destroyed turbo bearing would give a lot of noise. Yeah, I mean, to be honest, like the engine still sounded fine. I switched it off, and I even had to start it up for like a split second to start it up for a split second to put it into neutral. I mean, there is a way you can do the manual override, but it was fine to start it, so I just done that, and it started absolutely fine. Didn't have any bad noises or anything. One thing I did notice, and I was sort of led to believe that this was normal, was when I started the engine up after removing the cat and the DPF, the turbo sounded quite loud, with regard to like a turbo whistle. So it was whistling quite a lot, and it was like, did have the what's it like, the sort of like a blow off valve sound to it, but I was sort of led to believe that that was normal. I think too, especially when you said you had less torque, the bearings probably already started to get looser until they went gone skis. Yeah. He did take it for a test drive on a dual carriageway and it lost power on the return leg. Yeah. Did you remove the turbo? No, I didn't. That's the thing. I didn't touch the turbo at all. I accessed everything from the bottom. If it's the M57, what type of crankcase breather is fitted? What's the year of the X5? It's 2008, and it is it's the updated style breather with the the diaphragm. It's not the loo roll type. Wonder when it was changed to be Vortex from memory, which doesn't need changing unless it's been fitted. But yeah, no, it doesn't have the loo roll type. How much are you looking at for a new turbo? I have an M57 2010, and I have a feeling this would happen to mine when I do EGR and DPF. So to be honest, I've had a look, and the price like for a remanufactured Garrett turbo is not too much. It's like 250, something like that. So yeah, that it's annoying. Not for me, of course, for the owner, for my friend. But like I was surprised that I think that's quite reasonable for a turbo, but it's doing the work. I don't know but to be honest, I don't know if I want to do the work, and I don't know if I'm going to have the time because, like I said, I've spent best part of 3 weeks doing this now, and I have a lot of other projects to do. I'm rebuilding the mini engine. Obviously, you guys want to see what's happening with the E46. So I'll have 7 Series stuff to do, and then bits and pieces on the 1 Series as well. So, yeah, I don't know. I don't know if I'm going to be able to do it. I don't know if there's anyone else who would do it, anyone else who would do it instead. But the thing is, it's hard finding someone that you can trust to work on your car, I guess. So I think that's why he likes me to do all the work. But yeah, I don't know if I'm going to be able to. I don't know if I'm going to be able to do it myself, because like to change the turbo, I don't know if it can. I don't know if it can be done through the wheel arch or if it's a rocker cover off job. I'm definitely not taking the DPF off again. Forget that. Yeah, I'm guessing it'd be rocker cover off job. Clearly turbo have to come off to inspect. Hope you get dry day for the job. Good luck. Yeah, I don't know if I'm going to be doing it yet. I'm going to be inspecting it tomorrow, hopefully, and seeing if I can see anything obvious. My X5 40D has a twin turbos. Wish me luck. Yeah, good luck. Hi, George. Glad you're back. Okay. Think you're in for a sleepless night over this. I hope not. If it was whistling audibly, then the bearing was already shot, in my opinion. Do we reckon so? Hey man, what do you think about OEM BMW brake rotors and pads versus aftermarket? I think they were saying yes to my question above. And Stephen, your question above was, wasn't it? Glad you got. If you map out the EGR, you have to, yeah. Emma, what do you think about OEM BMW brake rotors and pads versus aftermarket? BMW, I don't think BMW make their own brake discs and pads for any model. So they generally use, I think, is it ATE? And can't think of the other brand. But yeah, BMW. I don't think BMW make their own brakes, so hopefully that answers your question. Yeah, same thing happened to my 520D with the whistle. Only difference is I had a few days warning. See, I don't know if it's like I said. I don't know if I just had that noise because I've de-restricted the exhaust. Same on my 320, sounded like a siren for a couple of days. Yeah, it didn't sound that loud. Sorry, just arrived. What's the issue, pal? Broke down in a friend's car after spending 3 weeks trying to fix it, and now we looks like we have another issue. Basically, yeah, Papa me. Hello, Blue Terry. How's it going? Turbo is easier than you think. It's like 8 bolts. Yeah, but getting to those 8 bolts is probably pretty tricky. That's like saying the DPF. It's only 3 bolts. Easy. Good luck spending 3 days rolling around on the floor on your back in the rain and the cold, and yeah, trying to do it with. You need 18 arms and 18 legs to do this job. I have a small whistle when really booting it. Rocker cover doesn't need to be off for turbo change, but otherwise not really loud, the turbo that is. My turbo has been whistling for the last 20k, so it doesn't mean the bearing is shot. Yeah, I didn't think it, to be honest. I'm good. What about you? I'm not too bad, Blue Terrier. Just under a bit of stress at the moment. Hank, you say rocker cover doesn't need to come off. How would you suggest tackling the turbo on an M57 X5 then? Because, I mean, can you access it through the wheel arch? On my 530D, there are 3 holes in the bottom of the airbox. Yes, there are 3 holes. There's like a little blank plug that fills them, but you've still got to access it from the side, haven't you, surely? What exactly makes that turbo whistle besides boost leaks? Was there oil inside the exhaust pipe? No oil in the exhaust before I've done the jobs. Bit off subject, but thoughts on the Comtry's takeover. I don't really have any thoughts, to be honest. You can't really say anything's good for a club until you've given it time. You could be a terrible owner. You don't know yet. No, but after tonight, good question. Actually, I haven't even checked. I probably should have though. I didn't even think. I'm still live. I won't be long. The smoke you described, and loss of power points towards a blown turbo. Yeah, it's got to be a blown turbo. Like, I can't see everything, anything else being the case. But please, guys, please just try and put my mind to rest. Something, I could. Have I made this issue? That's all I'm just trying to ask. I just want to put my mind to rest. We've done EGR cooler delete, new glow plugs and module, new intake manifold, brand new intake manifold, crankcase breather change, and then DPF and cat been gutted completely. So yeah, could I have caused this issue? Please let me know. Right, I must go off to bed. I have to change a turbo tomorrow. Oh, Stephen, I hope I'm not in the same shoes as you. If it is, get a replacement core, not the whole thing. Yeah, that is something I could do, I suppose. But even like for a brand new, for a remanufactured Garrett turbo, it's not a whole lot. What's your thoughts on BMW X3 E83? I don't really have any thoughts, to be honest. I don't really get the market for an X3. I think X3s are for people that want to look like they have an X5, but maybe can't quite stretch to one. Saying that though, after tonight, do not get an X5. Stay away. I believe on my 530D turbo comes out through the engine bay. You could possibly, if you removed all the boost pipes, you could possibly get it out from underneath the rocker cover, but it's going to be tight and you're going to be like doing bolts blind. So, like, just thinking about that now, it's just giving me flashbacks of the past couple of weeks trying to get that DPF off. I don't want to have to do that again. I don't want to have to go through that again. I just can't do it. I feel like I've aged about 10 years over the past couple of weeks. You did nothing wrong, in my opinion. Thank you. I appreciate that. That's exactly the words that I need to hear right now. Maybe X5 is more room for that. I wouldn't say so. I'd say there's less room on an X5. You have obviously, front diff. You have front CV axles. So there's definitely not more room on an X5. There's less room. Have you had it mapped since doing EGR and DPF? As I've been advised to as soon as possible if you're doing. No, it hasn't been mapped since I've done it. I literally just took it for a test drive after doing it. You did nothing to worry about. Thanks, Stephen. I appreciate that. How many moles on the car? There is 114,000 different moles on this car. Why did you do it? Was it wrong? Why did you do it? What was wrong? Why? More power? So it's all just preventative maintenance, really. We say that we do all that preventative maintenance, and then the turbo decides to blow up. No, so yeah, it was, pretty much since he decided to buy the car, which was probably about 6 months ago or so, maybe even longer than that. We had a whole list of things that needed doing. He had a small coolant leak, and now just seemed like a convenient time to do all these different jobs. So, yeah, we sort of just wanted to tick more jobs off, essentially. Probably not your fault. Turbo was on its way out. The work carried out will bring out the weakest link in the system. I agree with that. I have a 320D, which was full delete with remaps, which is very loud, insanely so. I also have a Mondeo 2.2 Titanium X Sport with same mods. That whistle madly. Is the remap properly completed? Oh, that's a DPF dust coming back to bite me. No, not in my opinion. Even removing the DPF reduces back pressure. They surely would not place any extra stress on the old turbo. Yeah, I was thinking it would actually, be less stress on it. But it may encourage it to spin freer, essentially. Hi, bro. My N57 make a small noise cranking in idle 190 degrees. Sorry, I can't help you with that at the moment. Selling my X5, just bought an X3 F25. Wise choice. Sell it before it goes kaput. It'll be good content. Get cracking. If you delete DPF cat EGR without software edition, it will break down. What makes you say that? It does need it does of course need mapping out, but why would it break down? The car has already been previously mapped, but just hasn't had the EGR or the DPF mapped out. Moral is don't buy or work on them. They are, in my opinion, expensive, unreliable junk. If it was a healthy turbo, that work wouldn't have done anything to it. It wasn't anything you did. I appreciate that, David. Can you touch on the subject at hand, please? Joined late. Connor, okay, I'll just go over it one last time and then I'm going to have to sign off. It feels like today's been a very long day. I honestly haven't stopped since 8 o'clock this morning. So, yeah, I'm pretty shattered now. Okay, so I've spent about the last 3 weeks straight, no days off, working on a BMW X5, doing various different jobs on it. Took it for a test drive today. Everything was fine, and all of a sudden, boom, smoke out the back, pull over, loads of oil in the engine bay, and we don't know what the issue is. So, yeah, we have a problem on our hands. But I'm pretty confident the engine's fine. I'm leaning more towards the turbo being at fault, but I guess we'll have to wait and see. But yeah, I think I am going to wrap this live stream up. I want to thank all of you for watching. Thank you all for hitting the like button and leaving your thoughts. I appreciate all of your feedback, all of your comments. It's helped put my mind at risk somewhat. Hopefully I'll be able to sleep slightly better, and no, I won't. I'm not going to be able to sleep, am I? No, hopefully we're going to be able to find out what the issue is tomorrow, and then we'll be able to move on and maybe get it fixed or not, and we'll have to get cracking with other projects. I don't know. I'm going to wrap up, read the few last comments, and then head off. Yeah, like I said, massive thanks to you all, and massive thanks to David Merrifield for the €5 super chat. And if you guys do want to show any support, additional support to the channel, now is your chance. There should be like a $sign or a £sign below the live chat. Click it. It should say show your support for George Osters, and you can donate £1, £40, £12, 39p, whatever you want to donate. It's all greatly appreciated. It all just gets reinvested back into the channel. But for those that don't want to do it, I completely understand. But yeah, like I said, I'm just going to go through the last few comments and then we will wrap things up. Okay. Yeah, not your fault, mate. These things happen, obviously, on its way out of the turbo. Good luck, George. All the best. Thank you, Crods. It's not reading all the sensor values. I will donate £20 to Tor GoFindMe page if you contact any remat specialist, and tomorrow they will explain better. I don't understand your question, Nick. Sorry. Hope your week gets easier, bro. Yes, I hope too. I would fill it up with oil, clean engine bay, and start looking where the oil leak comes from. Yeah, that's a shout, I guess. Just one question. What's the OEM number for the oil filter housing gasket for M47, please? Please answer before leaving. The race engineer, go to a website called realoem.com. That's REALOEM.com. You can find any part number for BMW, Mini, and Rolls-Royce. Any part number out there, You'll be able to find it. It'll be on there. And yeah, you can thank me later. I have a 30D SD E70 with a DPF delete and economy map. I have a slight whistle from the rear pipes. I think it's just a case of less restrictions. That's what I was led to believe as well. Well, you guys made it back safe. That's the main thing. Yep, exactly that, Chris. Just one question. I swear you've asked that like 3 times, the race engineer. Thanks. I checked there, but it was wrong. You must have inputted your car wrong then. Don't worry, it was an experience. Yeah, you could say that again. Remaps are very particular to work done, not just chucked in. One wrong value will cause havoc. Yeah, exactly that. Thanks. Only just tuned in. We'll watch from start after. Appreciate that, German car fan. Like I said, guys, I'm going to wrap things up now. I've been going for an hour. I've been going non-stop today, and I'm absolutely shattered. So, yeah, thanks again to you all. Remember to hit the thumbs up button if you haven't already done so. I think I need a shower and to go to bed. So, yeah, thank you to all of you, and we're signing off. I'll see you in the next one. Take care, guys. New video should be up tomorrow, maybe. Should be up tomorrow, normal time, 6:30 p.m. UK time. Be there or be square. See you guys.